are you all? I am here. I am live. I heard earlier today that if you stand like this, oh, it's so good for your energy. You call in so much. All of you can do that right now. Let's just open our arms up wide. Oh, I am here. You are here. How are you? Do you like the new shelf behind me? I like it better than the old shelf. Hi. So today is a live Q&A with me. You had to have submitted questions though in the comments on the posts on social, and I have a whole Google Doc with lots of questions. So I'm going to get to those first. If I have time, I will answer questions live in the comments, okay? But I got about 6 pages of questions right here. So for those of you that are new to me, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. I am Amy Raup of amyraup.com. I am a women's health and fertility expert. I've been helping women conceive for 20 years. I've written 4 books, which are all awesome. 2 of them are on fertility, and my most recent one, The Egg Quality Diet, is in the top 10 best-selling books on Amazon for fertility, and people are loving it. I'm also in the middle of launching my Fertility Reboot program. If you guys want more information on that, head to amyraup.com/fertility reboot. It's a very inexpensive 4-week program where I'm going to help you reset your mind and your body, learn what to eat, how to eat, when to eat, and then also how to manage emotional inflammation. So I've been doing this a long time. I have a whole team of people that work under me now that I mentor, and they coach a lot of you. And it's awesome. I love my job because I really help women step back into their power, to understand their bodies, to support their bodies, to listen to their hearts, and to ultimately get and stay pregnant. It's an awesome fucking job that I have, and I'm really honored to have it and to be here and to support all of you. So without much further ado, I'm going to get into these questions. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So know that if you post questions while I'm talking, I am not going to answer them. If I have time at the end, we have a half hour today, so I will end at 12:35. If I have time at 12:35, before 12:35, and I've gotten through all these questions, I will then answer your questions, okay? And if you guys really like this is something I could do more regularly too. So let us know as well if this is something, rather than me picking and choosing topics, maybe once in a while, I come and I do a live Q&A. Okay, the best supplements for poor egg quality. 32 years old, young baby, LOAMH, Hashimoto's. So where I would direct you, and because this is a live Q&A, the first place I would go for egg quality is to my book, The Egg Quality Diet. That's exactly where I would go. I have a ton of resources that go along with the book on the website that is mentioned in the book. So you need to have the book to access the website, and we go over supplements there. And that's not because I'm not blowing you off, but there's a lot to do, but you have to also understand that food is the primary medicine. If you're not absorbing or digesting your food, or if you're eating foods that are triggering inflammation in your body or compromising gut health or compromising your immune system, it doesn't matter what supplements you take because you're not going to absorb them. So diet first. Food is the primary medicine. Supplements are an additive. They're a cherry on top, okay? So I'm going to direct you to my book, Egg Quality Diet, amyraup.com/books, or jump in and sign up for the Fertility Reboot, where you're going to get a lot of that information from me over the next 30 days. Constantly hungry, I eat loads. Following the Egg Quality Diet, 5 minutes later, I feel empty. Sometimes feels more psychological than physical. So the reboot also might be good for you because we go into the psychology of eating and how we nourish ourselves and why we nourish ourselves, and food as a vice versus food as nourishment, which is a really important topic. There's a great book also by Deepak Chopra of, what's it called? Something about being full, or something about being full. It's about food and issues around that. Chinese medicine, we would say this is some stomach heat too, so you might want to try some like cooling foods as well, even though I know that's not typical egg quality diet recommendations, but things like cucumber, celery, mint tea to cool a little heat in your system. And then also, if you're following the egg quality diet, I would just urge you to make sure you're tracking your macros and making sure you're getting enough fat. You might need higher fat than what I recommend in the egg quality diet. Maybe you need to go up to 50% and see if that starts to work. 42 and a half, 2 children naturally, miscarriage 2 years ago, 4 failed IVF, no normal embryos, chemical pregnancy in June, natural pregnancy in December. I don't feel it's in me to do IVF again, trying naturally. Notice the last 3 pregnancies came when I was eating very closely to your recommended diet. Am I crazy to keep trying at 42? No, your 42 is young in my book. You got time. I would go on the egg quality diet because that's the diet that's working for you. And sometimes it's just consistency and frequency. You need to stay on it longer and consistently. Okay. And just so you know, someone just asked a question live. I'm going through the questions that were submitted first. If I have time, I will get to the live questions. If I don't have time, we'll do this again. 44 years old, trying naturally for 3 years, 6 IUIs, 4 IVFs, 1 miscarriage at 8 weeks, taking supplements, healthy eating. What am I missing? Managing emotional stress, emotional inflammation would be a big one. Sleep, emotional inflammation, exercise, body weight. Those are all things that I would really look at. If you're nailing the diet and the supplements, then there's some other factor there, and it could be one of those things. And you're getting pregnant, which is you did, which is a good sign. 44 is definitely not out of the woods. I feel like I've had dozens of 44-year-old women at this point that have conceived naturally with their own eggs or use their own eggs for IVF. And so you can too. You could also look into PRP, ovarian PRP, which check out Rejuvenating Fertility Center. I work with them a lot. Dr. Murphy there, Dr. Marco there. And PRP might also help improve egg quality. I would also consider ozone sauna for improving blastocyst quality. Certain supplements. But yeah, I would stay the course personally. Any recommendations for what to do once pregnant or how to lower chances of miscarriage? Taking Amy approved prenatal, spirulina, probiotics, staying gluten-free, soy-free, limited sugar. Learned what foods from, okay, so she's doing egg quality diet. She's now pregnant. She doesn't want to miscarry. Baby aspirin can be very helpful. Making sure you stay on top of your thyroid function. Making sure your thyroid levels are healthy. Making sure vitamin D, this is all in my books as well. And if you have the egg quality diet, it's also on the resources page of the egg quality diet. Managing stress, is a huge one. Sleeping enough, just like really slowing down and nourishing your body and reminding yourself, this is my priority. Every day I'm choosing this. I'm choosing how to nourish and support myself so I can manage this pregnancy. But baby aspirin, I do see really helps things. I do support people overseas. I work with women all over the world. We do coaching via Zoom. Oh, can't hear. Fuck. You know what that is? It's because someone just called me. So I have to leave you on Instagram and I'll come back. Let me see, actually. Did that make any difference? No. Tell me. Did that make any difference? Yeah, because someone called me. I can't stand my... Okay. And now... Okay, give me a second, Facebook. This is going to delay me, of course. Let me just do this live. Q&A part 1. I'll save that post, and then I'm going to go live again. Give me a second. Facebook. Okay. All right. Instagram, I'm back. Sorry. This phone, someone called me even though my Do Not Disturb is on. And then it shuts off my volume for some godforsaken reason. So anyway, I'm back. Hi, everyone. So going back to this, this question about maintaining a pregnancy. She got pregnant following the egg quality diet. She's on my approved supplements. I recommended baby aspirin, making sure thyroid numbers look good, making sure vitamin D looks good, managing stress, getting enough sleep, slowing down, nourishing yourself. I also do have a new mama group that anyone can join, and I do live Q&As in there once a month, and there's other women in there that have worked with me or followed all my recommendations and got pregnant, so they can also support you. It's a great community. 39 years old, suddenly period is lighter, last 2 days, spotting on the third. What can I take, eat, do to get back a healthy flow? P.S. I have Hashimoto's. A quality diet. Sign up for the Fertility Reboot. Sign up for the Fertility Reboot. Sign up for the Fertility Reboot. That's what you need to do. Food is your primary medicine. Food is your means of nourishment to build blood, to make a healthier menstrual cycle, to make better quality eggs. So is the emotional component. The heart is so important in healthy reproductive function. Heart as in spirit heart, not heart as in, I mean, the heart, obviously, if we don't have a heart working, we are not alive. But I mean, from an emotional perspective. But sign up for the Fertility Reboot and let me guide you over the next 30 days on what exactly to do, or go out and buy my book, The Egg Quality Diet. And please, so many people are buying the book and then not utilizing the resources page, which is such a huge waste. You're getting like literally thousands of dollars of free information from me on that resources page. Please use it. I had one woman in a review was like, this book isn't worth the money. And I'm like, well, obviously you didn't go to the resources page, my love. And did you know how long it took us to put together 100 days of eating plans? So yeah, worth the money. It's like $16, I think, if you buy it in paperback. If we had been super strict with our diet for 4 months leading to Christmas, then fell off the wagon a bit for a couple weeks, do we need to start it again? No. No, you don't. Be easy on yourself. You're human. What is the name of the testing that tells you if you have the MTHFR or natural killer cells? Well, they're two different tests. MTHFR can be done easily through blood work with your doctor or a hematologist, or if you've ever done the 23andMe or any genetic testing. Natural killer cells, a little more challenging. There is a test called the Pregmune, PREGMUNE.com. You can head there and see about that. There are certain doctors that will also test you for NK cells. You have to ask, though. What carb options do you recommend besides sweet potatoes or plantains? Zucchini, mushrooms have some carbs. Really all vegetables have carbs. So I think those are great options. In the egg quality diet in the beginning, we cut out all grains, but eventually you can reintroduce grains that also have carbs. I do find rice is very agreeable to many, but I still do recommend reducing grain and carb-related grains, or sorry, carbs from grains, simple carbs, for a beginning in the diet, because it really does help reduce inflammation and improve gut absorption. But most all vegetables have carbohydrates. With hirsutism, which is facial hair, can reverse back to peach fuzz. I think you can reverse it back to no hair. I don't know that it changes. It just stops growing in so many areas. What's the reasoning behind advising certain women to take baby aspirin when trying to conceive? Who would be a good candidate? Does it help with implantation? I tend to think good candidates are people who have had previous miscarriages. Obviously, you could also get some blood testing done by a hematologist or a fertility doctor who does a miscarriage panel on you, which is basically a clotting factor panel. If you have any of the common clotting factors, there's dozens of them, so I'm not going to name them here, but you can, a quick Google search, you can find it. The baby aspirin will help. There is research in women over 40 that taking a baby aspirin through the whole pregnancy is actually very helpful as well. So this really is a case-by-case basis. I do not recommend taking it all cycle long, though. I know there are some books out there say take it all cycle long. If you take it in your follicular phase, you thin your blood, so you will reduce your hormones and you won't have as strong of an LH surge. So do not take it in the earlier parts of your cycle. Only take it once you could be pregnant. But it's not for every single person. I do tend to recommend it more, though, in the over 40 category, because I feel like it'll thin the blood a little bit. We tend to get more clotty as we get older, meaning the blood just gets a little more sticky and gooey. That's not great for implantation, so it can help that way. But so could castor oil packs and gua sha, again, in earlier in your cycle. Don't do those when you could be pregnant. What dose of CoQ10 would you recommend? Yeah, I think it's proven itself that it helps with fertility and egg quality. 200 to 400 milligrams, depending on, there's some that are more highly absorbable and you only need 100, so it just depends on the product. I have them listed on my site. Questions that are coming in live, please know I have a list of questions that already came in comments before I went live, so I have to get through those first before I can get to you, if I can get to you. What recommendations do you have for recently turned 49-year-old, natural unplanned first pregnancy at 44 but no birth? Since 6 unsuccessful IVF, 3 unsuccessful IUIs, still trying naturally, regular periods, ovulated, have worked with other coaches, eliminated dairy, gluten, prepare, eat fertility meals, how to improve egg quality, thank you. Read my book, The Egg Quality Diet, because the whole reason I wrote it is because a lot of people were like, oh, I'm gluten-free, I'm dairy-free, I'm doing all the things. but then they're not eating enough protein, vegetables, or fat, which is supremely important. At the age of 49, I would also pull out all the stops and do ovarian PRP. I would do ozone therapy. I would look at more natural fertility clinics, whether or not you do IVF again, but super low stim, if any stim at all. And, you know, my favorite person for this is Dr. Murhi of Rejuvenating Fertility Center. So head over there, or Dr. Marco, any of his doctors. I've been doing the egg quality diet, but I'm not receiving my periods back yet. What can I do to have it back? How long have you been doing it? Is it 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? That's really important, consistency and frequency. I would also incorporate, make sure you're eating enough, or you're tracking your macros. A lot of people do the egg quality diet and they actually eat too little. And then your period won't restore. So making sure you're really eating what I tell you to eat, and you're tracking your macros, and you're not going longer than 2 to 3 hours between meals. Super important. Add in acupuncture, add in castor oil packs, add in Chinese herbs. Manage your stress. If your stress levels are high, your body goes into overdrive, and it does not prioritize a menstrual cycle, nor does it prioritize fertility. My Fertility Reboot is really going to help from the mental, emotional aspect there too. So if you have $150 to spend and you want 4 weeks of guidance from me, which includes 4 live group coaching sessions, and then daily emails, menus, recipes, shopping lists, all sorts of things, sign up. You can go to amyropp.com/fertility reboot and see what I have to offer in this program. It kicks off at the end on Sunday. I think it's the kickoff day, and then Monday it starts. I could be off on a day or two, so forgive me on that. How do you feel about rice fasting or congee? Could you recommend that for someone trying to get pregnant? I don't know enough about it. TCM or congee, rice fasting cure. So Chinese medicine, we do love congees. I do like them with meat in them and vegetables and broth. And I think that can be very healing and therapeutic. Personally, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've done a shit ton of research on this. I have a shit ton of clinical experience. What works is the egg quality diet. I have seen it work over and over and over again. That is why I finally made it into a book. I would go and get the egg quality diet, personally. Do you know if there is a fertility-friendly natural alternative to prednisone lowering immune response? The egg quality diet. Food is medicine. Food is medicine. High doses of fish oil too, 3 to 4 grams. I just saw you're having another reboot. I really enjoyed your last one. Found out I had SIBO from your egg quality diet in the reboot together. Found out I was pregnant after doing your program, but was doing SIBO treatments. I had a miscarriage. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'd like to join, but do you think I can manage my low FODMAP diet? Yes, because I have SIBO modifications for you, especially in the book. So yes, I do think you can manage that. I also have some handouts for SIBO modifications, I think on the Egg Quality Diet resources page, but if not, I'll make sure that they're available for anyone who's doing the reboot, because SIBO is very common. I was also wondering when the 4 coaching classes are going to be. Well, I don't even know when they are. They're on my schedule for the next 4 weeks, but they're all recorded, so you don't have to make it live. And so it doesn't matter, because we have people from every different time zone. So we just pick a time that's best in my schedule, and we ask you to put your questions in ahead of time, and I will come through. Sometimes we're doing, I know I'm forgetting, Beth, don't kill me. It's live coaching. Sorry, it's not a Q&A. So it doesn't matter if you're live or not. You can watch the recordings at any time. You get access to the recordings, and you get access to our private group where, you get support. Does your book cover the emotional mental aspect? So my book, Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, and my book Body Belief really go into mental emotional stuff. And I know I said I wasn't answering questions, but it just popped in my head. The Egg Quality Diet itself is just a diet, but with the resources page, has a ton of additional support, including meditations and all that sorts of stuff. So yes, I address it every which way because it is so damn important. What is the best course of action when you are perimenopausal and want to conceive naturally? Ovarian PRP and the egg quality diet. I'm getting ready to start the egg quality diet. I'm a little overwhelmed about the financial aspect. Is it a must to do only organic, grass-fed, pastured dairy meat? Is it still worth it to do the diet if it isn't 100% organic? I can't do 100% organic because there are certain things I should prioritize. Excited to hear from you. I do think animal products are really important to be organic, grass-fed, pastured. And then I think there is the Dirty Dozen information, which I have on the Egg Quality Diet resources page, where you can prioritize the vegetables and the other things that don't need to be organic. But to me, the animal products are supremely important. However, if you told me you were doing an 80-20 rule, I'd say that that's still better than nothing, right? But 50-50, there's still a lot of pesticides and hormones in those animal products, which will continue to screw up your hormones. So it is important to me. What if your partner isn't totally doing gluten or dairy free? Do they need to? Not everybody, not even women trying to get pregnant need to be totally gluten or dairy free. That's why I recommend doing the egg quality diet, because it's an elimination diet, and you get to learn the diet that works for you and for your body. So, how is your partner's health? And I always, like, how I do it in this house too is I lead by example, and I'm the one who takes care of the food shopping, so there is some gluten in this house. I just make sure it's organic and ideally sprouted. And so the options, and like whatever he does outside the house is fine right now. He works from home, so that's kind of easy. But I think it's a lot of pressure to put on our partners to do, like, it's beautiful to get the support, but it's also a lot of pressure to put on them, and it's how we approach it. Of like, you need to be gluten and dairy free so we can have a baby. You know, that's a lot of pressure, and I don't think healthy for a relationship. It could just be like, I notice how good I feel off of gluten and dairy, or I minimize it. Or the dairy that like I have in the house too, same thing. It's organic, it's grass-fed, it's raw, and it works. I have coconut milk options for yogurt. I have my yogurt right here, my Coco June. So, you know, try to do the best we can do, but its quality of food is really important. Not always that it has to be gluten and dairy free. And also, like, how is his health? That's really important. Is his sperm okay? Does he really need to be gluten and dairy free? How can I elevate my estradiol? I'm currently doing stims and my E2 is not rising. Fat. Bone broth, avocado, eggs, flax seeds can help here too. You can take some estrogen, but you might not be absorbing it. I do see blackstrap molasses can help. But you really need, estrogen is stored in fat cells. Women with BMIs that are too low, that are below, I'd say even, I really want a BMI around a 22, 21. If you're below that and you're having estrogen issues, it's a body fat composition issue. So in this, you're doing stims right now, so you're obviously in the meat of it. Eat a lot of fat. That's what I would do. Acupuncture can really help. Acupuncture with electrical stimulation can really help. Do blood tests for food sensitivity is helpful? No. And I have a whole live on this too, so I would watch that. But no, I've done so much research again, and I interviewed so many doctors that I really know, love, respect, admire, all the things, and everyone says an elimination diet is the only surefire way to know about food sensitivities. I think those food sensitivity tests can be very expensive and typically are a waste of money. Can you recommend the best herbs or supplements? My naturopath recommended ginseng. I disagree with that. It's a very hot herb and very stimulating. I don't think it's going to help with FSH. I really recommend that you actually see a trained herbalist who will prescribe an herbal formula for you based on your entire health picture. I have coaches on my team. We're all herbalists. We can help. So go and buy a coaching session with my team. You should not just take herbs haphazardly. They can be very harmful. I'm extremely against that. And if you also want to lower your FSH naturally, again, I know I'm so damn redundant, but follow the egg quality diet. Do we need to take a break from trying to conceive if my husband just got COVID, considering COVID's negative impact on sperm quality? I'm 36. I probably would for one cycle at least. I'm taking your recommendation for cod liver oil because I have autoimmunity. Can you talk about the difference between cod liver and fish oil? So cod liver oil has vitamin A and vitamin D naturally occurring in it. And it's just an oil with certain percentages of EPA and DHA, whereas fish oil is taken directly from fish, but is somewhat manufactured to meet certain requirements for EPA and DHA. So cod liver oil is more natural, and then naturally occurring vitamin A and vitamin D, which are fat-soluble vitamins, which are critical to optimal hormone levels. Going back to the FSH question, the other thing you have to look at is the FSH comes from pituitary gland, which is brain-related. You really have to look at stress levels. You really have to calm that stress response because that really does trigger higher FSH. I'm pregnant and have PCOS. Congratulations. And there is nothing out there for women like me. A plethora of info on if you have it, but once you get pregnant, you're on your own. There's no. I would go and read. I have a new mama guide, first of all, that you get if you join my new mama group, and it's an extensive, elaborate new mama guide, which I think would be supportive. And I also do monthly Q&As in that group, which could be helpful, and it's super cheap. I think it's $11 a month or something. Lily Nichols also has a great book, Real Food for Pregnancy. She also has one, Real Food for Gestational Diabetes, which you are highly likely to get if you have PCOS going into a pregnancy. I would get both of them, and I would follow that. I would follow Lily Nichols. She's a genius, and she has the pregnancy thing on lockdown for food. You can still take Inositol in your pregnancy, and I would, to help regulate blood sugar. Before they say don't eat gluten, rice, grains, etc. I've coached with your coaches before, and it was great, but I have a feeling I would pay all that money just to be told not really any supplements to take, just eat a healthy diet. I would stay on Inositol. I would do the New Mama membership. I would get access to my New Mama guide. I would read Lily Nichols' books. And high protein is the key to a healthy blood sugar in pregnancy. So it would be similar information. I always say, like, what I recommend to get pregnant is typically what I recommend to stay pregnant and to have a healthy pregnancy. 80 plus grams of protein a day is absolutely critical. Don't go too long between meals. If you do have some carbs like rice or gluten, that kind of thing, make sure it's with the protein. You don't want to spike your blood sugar. Can we stop taking ubiquinol once positive? I usually say yes. I'm hearing now that there's other information out there, but typically, yes, you can stop taking it. 44, my period is now only 3 days instead of 4. Should I be concerned? Does it make it harder to get pregnant? It tells me something's declining, that you're not making as much blood as you used to. I still think 3 days is still a healthy flow. Depends. I don't know all the ins and outs of your flow. But, again, food is medicine. That's where I would go. I would go back to my recommendations in the egg quality diet. Make sure you're eating enough fat. Make sure you eat enough protein. Typically, when I see light menstrual cycles, it's because they're not eating enough, and they're not eating enough fat and protein. I swell tremendously when taking HCG. Could this be an indication of an autoimmune response? I don't know about that. Maybe? My doc said possibly being a cytokine, prostaglandin, white blood cell response. He mentioned Adderall. That's interesting. I would do high doses of fish oil. I would do 4 grams of fish oil and talk to him about a low dose steroid, like 10 milligrams of prednisone. See if that helps, because it could help with implantation. Thanks for taking questions. I recently discovered I have factor 7 with the transfer of embryo. I've started taking Coq10 Good. The cycle also failed IVF. I'm sorry. What can I do to increase the chances of the embryos to stick? I do have all your books. I find it hard to follow the egg quality diet as I get super constipated. So this is a question I want to address, because when did you get super constipated and then did you stop? Because the egg quality diet is meant to be that you slowly reintroduce. So whatever you took out that you got constipated, it's meant to give you guides to support you so you can figure out what works for your body and what doesn't. So I feel like if someone got a negative reaction and just stopped it, it's not going to do anything for you. So I encourage you to continue to follow through with the egg quality diet and really pay attention to when you actually get constipated and what you removed, and maybe play around with that. Maybe you keep that food in. Maybe you're not eating enough. I see that a lot when I look at food diaries of my coaching clients or my coaches coaching clients. A lot of women on egg quality diet are not eating enough, and hence they lose weight and they get constipated, all these things. Some women eat awesomely, and either they gain a little weight or they lose a little weight, whatever their body needs to do. But my sense is maybe you weren't eating enough, or really, really, really pay attention. And then as far as the factor 7, I would add in a baby aspirin. Talk to your doctor about adding in a baby aspirin with the transfer. I'd also consider a low dose steroid here too, and high dose of fish oil. I'm 32, been trying for 4 years. I've never been pregnant. I had a polyp in my uterus removed 8 months ago. I'm currently on my second IUI. I am, however, still spotting before my periods. What can I do to help with implantation? Diet, supplements, and should I push my doctor for other testing since I'm still potting? My doctor said they wouldn't reevaluate till after my third IUI. Yes, I would push for further testing. Progesterone levels, especially IUIs, they don't tend to check progesterone levels. I would look at progesterone levels in the luteal phase. I would look at your thyroid. In my books, I tell you exactly what your thyroid levels should be. Vitamin D status, those are really important things to make sure are checked before trying to conceive. And diet, of course, food is medicine. I mean, that is my primary stay. I come home to that. Food is medicine. Acupuncture and Chinese herbs could also be really helpful here. My naturopath just put me on DIM for 2 months. What are your thoughts? I don't use it a lot unless I know estrogen is really healthy. So it helps clear out bad estrogens, but it also clears out the good estrogen while it's doing that. So if your estrogen is low, but you have, some estrogen dominant symptoms, it could actually be a negative thing. I instead use broccoli sprouts for this, which doesn't, it just helps support moving out the toxic estrogens and doesn't move out the good estrogens. I just had a case though where she has really healthy estrone, E1, but also really unhealthy E2 and E3. So I'm going to use them for a month because I feel confident because her estrogen levels are healthy. So it really depends on the case. I use the Dutch test to analyze that, and then based on the Dutch, I do my recommendations. DIM can have a negative impact. 2+ years, 28 years old, love your work, thank you. After a year, diet supplement, hubby has 13 million total progressive, but equates 11%. My TSH is up. Advice, next steps. Okay, I'm not sure what the question is. TSH can jump around. Maybe you need additional thyroid support. I would also look, Thorne has a nice supplement called Thyrosin. I would always, obviously, all of this is you have to check with your doctor guys first. This is just advice based on my clinical experience. Are you eating enough is another really big thing I would look at. Are you doing the high-quality diet or thereabouts? Supplements that you're taking, is your husband on supplements? Started with virtually nothing. So there's improvement here, which is great. Stay the course, look at mental health, look at the mental emotional aspect. Are you sleeping? Like all the other things, sleep, stress, body weight, movement, those are other really important categories to optimizing fertility. My husband and I have been trying, okay guys, I have a handful more questions. I'm going to stay on for 4 more minutes. If I get to the rest, I will. I have a coaching client at 1 o'clock and I need time to prep and I have to eat. My husband and I have been trying for 15 months now. We're about to go in to get testing done. I've been off the birth control for 1.5 years, but my periods don't back to normal. Only last 3 days. Maybe one day can be considered heavier. Do you have suggestions? Egg quality diet. Currently on egg quality diet, can I skip meals or have to eat everything? Yeah, I'm really clear about this in the book. So I don't think you should go longer than 3 hours without something. Maybe you eat less. But blood sugar stabilization is critical to optimal fertility. Is it okay to do IVF when my husband and I are just going over COVID? This is my 2nd cycle, and I've been working hard to do the egg quality diet the past 3 months. I'm afraid all my hard work has been erased, still feeling weak. If you're still having symptoms, I would not do the cycle this month. Should inositol be used for lean type PCOS? Yeah, I think it's a good question. Dr. Glacier says not to use it, but wondering if quality over quantity would be better with inositol. I think there's plenty of other good antioxidants. So, it depends. Like if your AMH is super high, I think you're safe to do it, but it can lower AMH. I don't know. My sense is it shouldn't do any harm. But again, supplements are just one piece of it. So I think you could do other antioxidants and skip the inositol if you want to. I don't think it's harmful though either. Do you think NAD 500 and glutathione 400 is contraindicated with possible early pregnancy? NAD 500 and glutathione 400 IV therapy. That's a high dose of NAD. I don't like that for anybody, even if they're trying to conceive and not pregnant. So I don't know that I would do it. But if you're just doing one IV therapy in the week, so that's divided then over 7 days in a sense, maybe that's fine. If you've been doing it leading up to getting pregnant and have had no negative side effects, sure. But if you've never done it before and you're newly pregnant, I would not do that. How worried do women in their mid-40s need to be about genetic disorders like Down syndrome? And is there anything that can be done to lessen the chances? I'm going to be so redundant here, but I think you should read the Egg Quality Diet. I think there's a big difference between chronological age and physiological age. If you need help hand-holding to get the diet started, join my Fertility Reboot. It kicks off next week, and you are going to get a lot of diet and lifestyle and mental emotional support from me and my team, and you get daily emails. Go check it out, amyraup.com/fertility reboot. And yeah, I mean, our fertility does decline as we get older. There's no lie about it, but it doesn't have to, and nor do the odds of having genetic abnormalities increase. They increase slightly, like a few percentage points, but not like by 50%, like some people tell us. And so there's a lot of control you have over the health of the cells in your body and the health of the cells in your ovaries, which equal your eggs. So there's a lot you can do, and it's not just about age. Age is one, I think, tiny factor. What lubes do you recommend when trying to conceive? I make a lube. It's called Sweet Love Butter. I love it. It's coconut oil and shea butter, and it works awesome, and we have a lot of fun with it. You can use olive oil too. I tend to use food-based things, not synthetically made things, and avoid parabens, avoid fragrances, avoid toxins down there. You do not want that stuff in your hoo-ha while you're trying to make a baby. Okay, that's it. I'm going to go. I love you guys. I know there's a lot of questions that came through live. We will do another one of these soon because obviously this was a big hit and people really liked it and want to know more. Is CoQ10 good for men? Also, yes, there it is. Castor oil packs. Okay, so that's that. Fertility Reboot. Okay, well, love you guys. I need to eat and prep for the rest of my day. I will see you all very, very, very soon. Check out the Fertility Reboot. Enrollment closes on Saturday, okay? amyraup.com/fertility reboot. If you just want some free good stuff from me, just head to amyraup.com and take my fertility quiz. Get on my email list. There's a shit ton of free information that I give out to you guys all the time. If you just are a self-starter, buy the Egg Quality Diet book, buy the Yes You Can Get Pregnant book, go to amyraup.com/books. Check out the resources page that come with both of those books because there's an enormous amount of information that I give to you with purchase of those books. Love you. Have a great day.